If you want to automate trading and build a winning strategy without coding, this video is for you. Here Bryan shows me how to use the ultimate strategy builder on TradingView, and you'll get to see how it works. And if you didn't see the first part yet, you can watch it here. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so you can see mine up this 3,000% here.
Nice.
It's starting with $1,000 capital, means I'm able to put in a lot more orders, going $12 at a time. And then pretty much all the same settings as you to take profits at 1%. So we don't wait for a lot of profit before we start selling stuff, because the sooner we sell it, then if it does dip, we can buy it back, right? Kind of concept, logic. So you can see it's a whole different setup and charts and everything when you start looking at it. And then mine, well, I'm on a weekly now too, so it is a way bigger trades, buying at 80,000, selling at 110k, buying at 60,000, selling at again 100k. And then here we were buying at 13,000, sold all the way up to 70,000. So a whole different picture depending on what chart you're on and what your funds are, which is kind of the beauty of this concept of the vault. Like even my vault, if I was doing this on the weekly, you could sell them. I'm selling now. I just bought a bunch of Bitcoin at 80,000, which I'm now selling at 100,000. But my vault,
that's a nice profit.
Yeah, and my vault is at 0.67 Bitcoin. So in my vault,
wow,
right? It's pretty, it's worth a lot of money. My vaults, I've got a lot of money invested in Bitcoin now, and this whole thing started with $1,000. I now have,
look at that.
Yeah, like $70,000 in Bitcoin, and I still have my $1,000 trading account. So I'm still still using $12 per order, but have accumulated and vaulted a lot of Bitcoin. So,
nice one.
That being said, we'll go to this chart. I'll get rid of the strategy tester. So this chart is, which is live public, the Ultimate Strategy Builder website. If you go to ultimatestrategybuilder.com, we have these strategies, which is essentially what we use to make the one I showed you, the AccuVault, in the other pictures. The AccuVault has that DCA in and out logic that these ones won't. This is a get in, get out strategy. If you want it to be, if you want to go the other route, you can. But so this one, it has a master seed script, and then you have your different indicators, which we used the RSI in the AccuVault. But there is a MACD, a moving averages, a Bollinger Bands. This one is a little, it's for more advanced traders, like intermediate, someone that's gone through the AccuVault like you did now, that wants more fine tuning, more customizability, zoom in.
I see.
So you would you could add all of those to your chart, and then we have a logic gate script, which allows you to choose which indicators you're using. If you're using them together, if you want to take a trade when the moving average and the RSI are giving you a signal, or you want to take a position when either of them give you a signal. That's the logic gate. It lets you choose your conditions per se.
I see.
And then there's the back testing tool. This one was developed by Rick. It's called the Autoview Trade Manager. This one is this one's more specifically for futures trading. Have very fast in and out and stuff. So I won't really touch on that one there today, because it's not designed for Bitcoin and crypto. But I will go over kind of how you do, or how someone would get going in trading automated with your standard. These are the most common indicators: your moving average, RSI. Kind of anyone that's done a little bit of research into trading knows enough about them to use them. The first thing you're going to need to do is favorite each one of these scripts before you can add them to your chart. So you're going to go through and you're going to click on, you can see all the different links. You've got the MACD, the RSI, each individual strategy has a link to it, the logic gate. And then if you're into the Autoview Trade Manager, a little intermediate to advanced stuff, again, you just click this link here. So we'll do it with the master seed. You click your link, it'll open a new tab to the script that is on TradingView. From here, what you're going to want to do is click the add to favorites. And then you do that for all the strategies and scripts that you want. What you need, not a want, you need the master seed. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. Each individual strategy has its own built-in master seed. So you don't need anything outside of a single indicator. If you want to use the master seed for the full randomization and the logic gate, then you are going to need the individual script, multiple indicators, and your logic gate. So for the most part, you get all these into your favorites, and then once you've done that, you can add them to your chart from the indicators button at the top of the screen. So as you can see on my chart, I'll make them all a little bit bigger so we can see them a little better. You can see there's a lot of scripts and a lot going on this chart, which is why I built the AccuVault for our calls and stuff to kind of starting point. Because to try and teach you all of these would have been
too much
out of the gate. Yep. So the idea here is the master seed script is just that seed that generates all the random values. And then you've got your Bollinger Bands, all these other strategies. What these ones do is you can have it pull in the master seed. So they're all running off of the same randomization values. So you can customize the range. If you know anything about the Bollinger Bands, you understand what the length are and the multipliers used for, etc., etc. We use the modifier to make sure that it all runs off the master seed, but this one's adjusted by 1 point, let's say. So we still use the master seed to regenerate this strategy, but this will ensure that not every strategy is using a greater condition, or like there's a little bit of difference between each indicator. So what I do is I set them all to use the master seed. I got my B bands. I go into my MACD, same thing, set it to master seed, a different internal seed, so that it's going to be a little different things. Its ranges, if you know them, you set them. They're all defaults to the standards, right? Set it to master seed. If I go defaults, you'll see it's not set here. So you tell it I want to use the source as a seed. I want to use the master seed, and then I want my we got B bands one. This was 2. So you set it. So you go through and you do that same thing with the moving averages and the RSI, and then I've even got a super trend. This one's not public yet, but hopefully by the time these videos are done, I will have it there. And once you have all those up, we can zoom in a little bit on this is our Bollinger Bands. So if you're familiar with the indicator, you know what this means, right? When the price is in it. Normally it would be on top of the candles to see a little better. But if the price comes out of the Bollinger Bands, it usually means we're in a bull market, which means price is probably going to go up. So as a trader, you use things like trends. Like if it's in a bull trend or an uptrend, then by opening a buy order or an up order, you're improving your accuracy a little bit. So instead of a 50-50 chance, what we're doing as traders, we're trying to make it a 60-40 chance or a 70. We want our odds to be a little better, right? It's still gambling, it's still guessing, but we can improve our odds by using these indicators. So the Bollinger Bands, you can see it, the volume, everything's going up. So if the price popped out here, it would be a Bollinger Band signal. There's different ways to trade off every indicator. Some people trade within the cloud. There's lots of ways. So we've got a moving average divergence, MACD. So this one's similar. You want, you got your moving averages when they cross could be a signal, but only if these lines in the middle are going up. And there's rules. We don't have to learn all these rules. We're gonna let randomization just kind of point us in the right direction to get us started. So again, like the moving averages, right? The typical, to see in moving average, like the orange one that's all sporadic and then a nice slow one that's consistent, not something you typically see, which is where the randomization kind of comes in, because it lets you test things that are kind of outside the box, So the logic here would probably be if the orange crosses above the white one, it's going to be a buy signal, and then when it goes it's going to be a sell signal, because then you can see in this case we would have got a sell signal here, and we were in a sell for a while. So if we actually compare it to that was right here, if we compare it to price, right, we got our sell signal from that right around here, and we were in that sell now, and we didn't get another buy signal from that one till way down here. So if we were just trading that moving average, we sold here and bought here, which is pretty good.
Okay.
So the RSI, which we touched on, this one, it's about up here is usually sell zone, down here is our buy zone. In between, we don't touch. So we let the strategy handle all of that stuff. So then you come into your logic gate. And this is where you build your strategy based on those things. So if you wanted to use just the moving average, right, you can come and you set the first indicator entry source to the moving average signals. And then everything else is none. So we're going to ignore all those. And this is going to work similar to what we showed you with the AccuVault and with the RSI. This is just the moving average. So again, well, let me open the strategy so we can see. So again, all you do is you go back to your master seed now and you just change your master seed, and the whole strategy now will be based off of just the moving average. So you get to cycle through, see how just the moving average did. So let's say you find one you like, or it's not bad. You can see we got some sells, some buys. We sell before it goes down. Buy right at the top on this one, unfortunately. Sell, so not the greatest, not a lot of money. So you could go into your logic gate and say, well, how would the moving average do if it was used with the Bollinger Bands? So now the logic gate will combine the two indicators. You go back to your seed and you just cycle. Here's how the moving average and the Bollinger Bands kind of do together. You can see much more consistent. So it's a good way to learn the different indicators on their own. If you just randomization wise, like if we go turn this guy back to none, we're just using the MA, and we cycle a whole bunch of seeds, we'll start to see there's kind of a pattern. It doesn't really matter what our moving average settings are. Vector seed. It doesn't really matter what the settings on the moving average are. We'll make this bigger. But you'll see that we kind of find, if you run through enough seeds, like Rick said, you'll see me clicking. I get away from people. I run away. I've done this a few times. So you get back to your seeds, and you'll see it's kind of, it starts and it just fairly consistent, goes up, and then you run another moving average, see what it's like. And less trades, but again, fairly consistent on the up. So you run another one, and you kind of start to get an idea, okay, moving average, it doesn't really matter what settings I use. Moving average is pretty good overall trend, but you can see a lot of spots where we're just chopping sideways. So again, yes, we would make money if we ran this. Again, we start down, we're making money every time, but there's a lot of spots where we're not, right? We're only making our money really from this trade, these couple trades, this trade. So that's where the other indicators would then come in. You're like, okay, right, I want to get rid of
to catch more of them.
Or get rid of the losers. We've got winners, so we don't want to get rid of those. We want to see if there's another indicator to get rid of these. So what I would do then is, I would go back to my logic gate and I would go through every indicator. So we got an idea what the MA looks like if we just ran it. So let's see if we just use the RSI, what kind of, this one's a little nicer. Again, the sideways, but up. So we'll run through, 10, 20 seeds, just get an idea of what the RSI overall does for us, what it looks like. Doesn't really matter what settings are, the RSI is going to give us whatever this is. I couldn't even preemptively tell you because I haven't done this, the 1 hour BTC, USD. We can see the RSI is not a lot of trades so far, it seems. There's a decent amount, pretty sideways. So the RSI definitely has a bigger range, a lot of trades here. But again, we can see long term, not terrible. It wouldn't be the best for trading on its own. But again, they're all green. Like
that's the main thing here.
Like this one's kind of beautiful. It's not enough trades. So if we combine that one with the MA now that we got an idea of the two, we can do an OR. switch this one to our moving average, and see, because the RSI didn't have a lot of trades, the MACD or M8 did. So now we just run through some seeds with taking trades based on either of them. If the moving average gives us a signal, let's take it. If the RSI gives us a signal, let's take it. And you run through some seeds, and it'll give you an idea of how these ones did. So you can see it's following the moving average. We're getting our big moving average trades still.
Nice.
But the RSI is not really helping with this sideways. If anything, it looks like the RSI is making it worse because we got more trades in the sideways.
I see.
So that is in general, right, without going into crazy details about what the inputs and what these indicators. This is assuming you already know what a moving average is, a MACD, etc., etc. It's a way that anybody can come in to Autoview with a little bit of trade knowledge and get into the automated trading by taking the indicators they're used to, playing around with some concepts, playing around with some different rules. To build this yourself, you would have to write it in PineScript, or you could do it in Python with ChatGPT, and you can do your whole back testing and everything. You could do all of this yourself, no problem. Okay, it's going.
I wouldn't even start on that.
Right, it's going to take a long time. It's no matter who you are, whether you're starting with no knowledge or a lot of knowledge, it's going to take time to build a system that's going to allow you to test how does the moving average do with the MACD. How do the two of those do against this or with this? Or the logic gate provides all those opportunities here. And we're not limited to just the moving average, the MACD. We can write these scripts for any indicator that's out there. You know, if a user requests a specific, that's why the super trend's being done. It's been requested. So we'll build the super trend. Now you can come in here and just see how does the super trend, even just all by itself, perform on Bitcoin approximately, right? Because it's still random, and it's a little curve fit is what we call it. You know, it's kind of, you're using data points that would have looked really good in the past, connecting the dots. It's easy to tell what the picture is going to look like. Whereas right now we don't know what dots we have coming next or in the next picture, so we have no idea what the picture is going to be. So it's just to get that idea, to get you started. You can run through into super trend on its own just by continuing to go through different seeds. You get an idea of how did the super trend perform on Kraken, BTC, USD 1 hour, right? Like we're specific to a market, to an exchange. So it gives you that idea, but overall picture, like this one, not terrible. You're up 152%. Pretty consistent, a lot of trades. So we know the super trend. So again, the whole point of this whole tool, the ultimate strategy builder. Actually, this one's really nice too. Sideways is tough to avoid in Bitcoin. That was a tricky one. But you have the tools now. Everyone now has the tools with the logic gate to kind of build their own system without having to code anything. Literally anything, because when you combine, this isn't even Autoview. This isn't like we got the Autoview shirt on. This is the Autoview YouTube. This isn't Autoview. This is these are a couple scripts to help, because Autoview, we don't provide the strategy for you. We just provide the tool that allows you to take the alerts from your strategy and put them directly on your exchange. To get to that point, you have to have a strategy, and that's where a lot of people struggle. They'll run what they think is profitable for months to just lose money. They don't back to. There's a lot involved in learning how to trade before you even get to the automation point. So this is designed to pass that. Like, it lets you bypass learning what a moving average is, learning what a MACD. You don't need to know nothing about it. All you have to do is just play with some different combinations to find something that's viable, right? I know nothing about the RSI. But if I put the MA, I could do two MAs, two different types of moving averages combined, right? And this allows me to just test what would happen if I combined two different MAs with different settings, for us to do this from a programming standpoint, or whether you're building it yourself or not, just to see what one moving average does, you have to go, I can even go into a code. When we get to
this is the Python, or
this is the PineScript that we write in, So you can see I've got all kinds of math and stuff in here. I do all the equations, how we do it. I'm not too sure if we should be blurring this out or we'll figure that part out. So as long as I don't show the whole script, it's fine. But to go in and change the length of, like we got random, you can see here, length 1, length 2, the random range is 2 to 20. Those are the settings.
Okay.
If I wanted to test what the RSI with the length 7 was doing and I was programming this, I'd have to come into the code, change this to 7.
Change them one by one.
Yep.
That's
Save.
too much work.
Yeah, save it, and then, how did this do? Oh, I'd like to see how it did with a moving average of something else. Now you got to go into your moving average script. You got to go to those values. You got to change those values, and you got to run it.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to see, whereas that we cut all of that out completely. You don't need to touch the code. All you need to do is understand the logic gate, which is where you build your strategies. So you want to test out 4 different MAs. You just set all 4 of them to your MA signals, and now, right, we got a 4th one here, and then this one's already MA. So now we're testing random configurations of 4 different moving averages to see what it looks like with a 1% or even I'm set at $1 take profit. So as soon as we're in profit, we're going to be selling. And you just come to your master seed and you say, hey, what do 4 moving averages look like? And after running through about 15, 20 of these, you get an idea of what they do.
Something that might be good, yeah.
And then, in some cases, they're terrible. Like your combination sucks, so you change it. But to change it, you don't have to go into your code. You don't have to. You just go change it in Logic Gate. Go change that drop down to something new. Change it from an N to an OR. Play with it. You don't need to understand it, right? You just
makes it definitely easier. Yeah. More accessible.
And there's nothing. These scripts are free. They're not open source, right? But they are free. They come as soon as you create your Autoview subscription. You've given access.
These scripts are available.
These scripts are available. Yep.
Nice.
If you want just the moving average, everything's loaded.
Right.
You wouldn't use the source and the master seed. You would just leave those as default, and now this internal seed is the seed. So you don't need the master seed, but you do. Okay. Right? So well, there's, like Rick said, we have to do this more than just this once, because every time there's going to be something that comes out, especially when we involve the users, because eventually a user's going to be like, what if I don't want to use the master seed? Or even the question of why am I using the master seed? And you're using the master seed because by having a master seed, I can come back, or I could share with you my master seed. I can say, look, here's master seed 6725492. You need Bollinger Bands, moving average. Those are the 2 strategies you need with the master seed. And then you could replicate my strategy on your computer.
I see. Okay, yeah, it's there.
Right? So if
like
you
identifier.
Yeah. If you don't have the master seed, then I would have to share with you. I would have to say my Bollinger Band seed's 27 whatever. My MACD seed is this. My moving average seed is this.
Okay. Right. I got it.
So now we have one master seed. I share that, and I just tell you, my internal seeds are just modifiers of 1 or 2, and so it makes the setup and sharing the strategy a lot better, because this is the type of tool that if you have a Discord group or a trading community, you guys can all work together to fine tune and find something that works. Like if we all start and say, let's find something on a moving average that works, and then one guy, he's that guy that does a little more than everyone else because whatever the reason, he doesn't have the family, he doesn't have the kids, so we spend more time. So he gets a couple steps ahead, and he comes back next day and goes, guys, the moving average with the B bands is really nice. So now the whole community starts playing with the B bands and moving average, see how they work together, and you can work together with seeds to create a strategy for the group, even if you want.
That's cool.
The tools we have that people don't know about, Rick?
Yeah, exactly.
We even surprise ourselves sometimes. Like I did forget that I had the internal seeds. I already thought about that.
Wow, that was a lot for a beginner. Now you should know what you can do with the Ultimate Strategy Builder. We get indicators, logic gates, and master seed generator to find winning strategies for trading automation. If you didn't see the first video of the series yet, you can click on the card and watch it here. Now that we have our strategy and tools ready, we are ready to move to the final part of this series where Bryan helps me to connect Autoview and set up the automated trading. See you in the next video.